I'm very, very happy to have you here online, being in Amman, Sami Hourani, and it's a big pleasure to do this short interview with you. And before, I would like to ask you some questions, a short introduction. You are a medical doctor and also a serial social entrepreneur. You founded many, many companies being in Jordan, but you've also traveled the world. You won many competitions. And today I would like to talk a little bit about what made you the person you are, and also I would also like to learn a little bit from you. So you have actually created the well-known educational platform Forza. Could you tell me a little bit more about that? Because you, as a medical doctor, I would not imagine somebody like creating a huge platform and actually not doing medical work.
So, first of all, let me thank you on this nice introduction. I wish that, or I hope that actually I deserve all these nice words. Well, maybe this is like a nice invitation to visit a psychiatrist and to see, like, if there's a problem, leaving or seizing the medical career and just doing something different. Well, yeah, I mean, Forza.com is a social enterprise that was established while I was in med school as a blog, and then it was start developing gradually and organically to reach thousands of young people all over the region. So yeah, it's a new approach in spreading educational opportunities for young people in the Middle East and North Africa to learn about all the existing scholarships, fellowships, trainings, conferences, and other educational opportunities that can be very valuable for them to fill the gaps in their educational system and in their careers.
So could you?
And Forza, of course, I don't know if it's an Arabic word that means opportunity.
Okay, and would this website of opportunities, could you compare it to like a Facebook of opportunities, or like in order to understand it better, what is it? What can you achieve?
Well, that's a big thing. I mean, I would say many Facebook for opportunities and education. It's basically it's a timeline of educational opportunities, so people can get personalized educational experience that fits their age, gender, location, and most importantly, passion and interest.
Okay, and you said many people use it, so but I can imagine, like, did you already start with this vision that it's going to be like a global platform, or how did it start and how did it grow so big?
No, of course, it started as I said, it was a blog that just like a kid playing with a blog and just posting opportunities here and there. That's out of the belief that people need to access or to have the equal access for education opportunities. Actually, in my country and in the region, most of these opportunities they go to through what we call it wasta or nepotism, where people only the ones who have some contacts have some reach in those education opportunity in those education institutions or universities, they get to know about those opportunities. So this is how it started. Like I used to get a lot of emails, spread it to your friends, So I said, I don't have a lot of friends, like, there are only 5. I already sent them the opportunities that you sent me. So then I thought that why not to take all these emails and the newsletters and so on, and creating a bank of opportunities, and then post it on a blog. I mean, that blog in 2011 became more of like a Forza website, and started growing from Jordan to reach the Middle East and North Africa, whether in Egypt, Tunisia, Morocco, Algeria, Libya, Palestine, Syria, and Saudi Arabia. So yeah, it's an interesting journey, but totally unexpected, and yeah, we're growing it.
That's pretty impressive, because I imagine that many young people have lots of great ideas, but they think, oh my God, I don't think this will ever happen. I can ever have success. So I think you might also function as a role model to many people out there, because you probably never have imagined that this might grow so big and so well. So how many people are using your website and are using also? You also have a Facebook website, of course. How many people use it daily or weekly or monthly?
Yeah, I mean, right now we have more than 165,000 users, registered users on the portal, with an average visitors of 10,000 a day, with more than 1 million Facebook likes on the page, and around 100,000 reach on our Facebook page. So I mean, at the beginning, and that's what, starting with what you said, I mean, we were just enjoying and celebrating 10 likes, and when they become 15, like, we throw a party. So or when we have like 50 visitors to the websites a day, that was like the joy of our life. So I mean, I'm not sure if you can call me a role model. I mean, it's just I think sometimes you just need to continue what you're doing, and thing goes I mean, I would say that always they go in an unexpected way. Like, I don't think that anyone can do whatever he expected to do or she wanted to do before. They always change. Sometimes they surprise you, become better, and sometimes they don't.
But in your case, I mean, you were on a quite secure path, becoming a medical doctor, and I mean, with a very safe income, safe job. So, what did your parents say, first of all? Because I think that's a very important issue also, like dealing with parents. And how did you actually decide to take this path of turning up the back from the doctoral side and going towards like the more adventurer or unknown?
Yeah, I mean, I would call it, entrepreneurship, it's an adventure. I mean, of course, I mean, you're talking about like first of all, the financial stability of medicine, which is, kind of, sometimes I miss it. It's rewarding. It's good. And also the pressure or the social pressure that you get. So those two things are the main obstacles that you would feel. And I think anyone who wants to change his or her career would feel this, because there are always a transition from the old career that you get used to, and also the social pressure. I mean, sometimes my family will say that this guy is totally crazy. Like, we need to find him, like, I don't know. He needs a consult. He needs a medical consult. So, especially at the beginning, and there was a lot of resistance. But now it's getting better. I mean, when they see that the growth, it's they became more convinced in a way or another. It depends. Sometimes they flip. So
it still counts.
I mean, and also the adventure of entrepreneurship is always exciting, and doing something different is always exciting. I mean, as long as it's calculated, as long as it's well studied, it's an adventure. I would say that it's a calculated adventure. It is always risky, but not life threatening. So
I see, but Forza is not the only company that you've created, or the only idea that you are pursuing. You've also created like a qualitative research methodology, which is called FADFED, if I spell it correctly, FADFED. And also the organization Leaders of Tomorrow. As you said earlier, you wanna like fight nepotism and elitism, and you wanna like also have more people have a say, and more people like involve more people in community matters. Could you maybe explain a little bit what this FADFED is and what it actually means?
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you about FADFED, and then I'll tell you about the other initiatives. So FADFED, also another very, very simple idea. In 2010, there was the parliamentary elections in Jordan, and there was a lot of skepticism and I would say ignorance and disinterest from a lot of young people in Jordan to participate in the elections. And I was thinking, why not to create some kind of a new way of listening to people's opinion? Because you would hear in the newspapers that people are excited, but you go to the social media, sometimes you go to your friends, and everyone is not excited, not interested. So I was curious to know what people really think about the elections. And here where the idea of just putting white papers in the public spaces came. And, why not to take the flip chart papers, have some friends and volunteers, and, just put them and ask people if they want to participate in the elections or not, and why. So, and distributing markers for people to write on those white papers. And this is how it started, very simple. And people get excited to the concept that they are in a public space, in a street, and someone is handing them a marker and telling them, we would like to know, could you write your opinion on this thing? And it gave them the sense of sometimes entitlement, the sense of for the first time, someone is asking for my opinion in something that's kind of political. So that was the start, but it was not called FADFED. It was just like, a trial for a couple of months during the elections. The success of it led to FADFED in 2000, continuing, doing it, but more, and calling it FADFED, but then making it more scientific. And here where we start playing with the colors of the markers to look at the gender and the age, the timing of the writing, looking at public trends on those white papers, and also connecting it to the social media. So people are writing let's say in a public space in Amman or in a street, but they're also using the same hashtag, at the same time the same question goes on Twitter, and people participate on that. And you will see what is written on the upline or on the walls in the street is transmitted to Twitter and provoking more people to participate. So it was an interesting way to connect the online and offline spaces, and just like doing a totally new way of collecting data and doing qualitative research.
Yeah, and you just said like creating a new way of collecting data. You mentioned the markers, so could you maybe explain a little bit more what the markers were supposed to be? Like for example, a woman would get a blue marker, or how did it work? Or how does it work?
Women with an age group. The woman is a bad example for age. A man like above 30 would get, like, for example, a black marker. A man under 30 will get green marker, and so on. The same thing with women. And then sometimes we do it more sophisticated. We create more colors for sometimes more than the age and gender, sometimes with education, sometimes with educational background, and so on. It depends if we're doing it in a public setting or a private setting. So there are a lot of advantages for this new way of doing research or collecting data. One of them is collecting large amounts of data in short time. And here where sometimes if you want to evaluate people's opinion on a marathon, how would you do it? So, putting white papers at the end of the marathon is going to be fun. It's going to be great. People will have the markers. They will enjoy telling you their feedback on that thing. Also, getting the public perception during a demonstration, for example. All these public gatherings that you need a way to collect data in a very short time is, one of the main advantages of FADFED to do some research and collect data. It has been going for a long time. I did my master thesis on it at Lund University in Sweden, and we're taking it to another level. We have been using it for the elections for the past couple of years, so it became a trend that we always look at people's opinion using FADFED, and
so is this also like
and we took it to the private sector. Yeah.
And will this also become like a known research tool? Because you just said that you used it for your master thesis, so will it be acknowledged?
My master thesis on it. It was on the methodology itself. So I wrote my master thesis on FADFED as a new way of doing research. This is what we hope, that it's becoming more mainstreamed in the world of research, where people start using it and start, also improving it and, developing it and taking it to another level. So, we have a website, we have a Wikipedia page for it, and it has been used several times, but we want to take it more to another level.
Wow.
That's a great way. And it's also an Arabic word that means let it out.
Let it out, okay.
Yeah.
So, Sorry.
People like the word, just like FADFED, let it out. So, let me let it out. I have a lot to tell you. So,
very nice. And
this is how it goes public spaces.
You have also created other initiatives. As I said in the beginning, you're a serial social entrepreneur. Could you maybe describe a little bit more what you spend your days with?
Yeah, those initiatives, they go all around one main obsession, I would call it, is basically the social justice and social equality. It was very important. That at a certain point in Jordan and in the region, like, we start feeling that everyone is equal, whether in education, which is Fursa, providing all these opportunities online and using the open space of the internet to get people opportunities, or with FADFED, where you go to the street and ask normal, ordinary people to express themselves on sometimes social, political, sensitive issues, or through Leaders of Tomorrow as a hub and as a medium for young people to express themselves, and through also the Diwaniyya debates, which is the debates that happen in the public spaces, and getting people on politicians, decision makers, and academics to debate sensitive and contentious issues in the public spaces. It was a way of reviving all these, actually rediscovering the public spaces in Jordan, and then reviving it and taking it to another level. So
this is what
adding more cultural, artistic, political taste to all these public spaces that sometimes, either abandoned or just, only kind of looked at as a way of just entertainment and just hanging out, smoking shisha and so on.
But now we've talked a lot about your initiatives and also a little bit about your background. But actually, I would like to know where do you get your energy from? Is there also a time when you say, okay, you know what, I've had it. I cannot do this any longer. I just want to have a normal career, and I want to get out of it. Or is it always like easygoing?
No, of course, I have these times. I think it was 30 minutes ago before the interview. Like I felt it's definitely you always get all these thoughts and all those feelings. When you have a lot to do and you feel that it's just too much to handle. So you can never be certain when you're doing something a bit different. Also, the combination of entrepreneurship and social activism or socio-political activism is also a bit complex, because this is where you want to have sustainable initiatives, but at the same time they're tackling sensitive issues that no one really wants to do, and we have been through a lot of obstacles and hazards and challenges. So sometimes you just feel it's not going to work. Done. Like, let's go back to stable life. Just and enough of this crazy life. So. However, you feel that the impact that goes, all the beautiful messages that we get constantly on Fursa from people getting all those opportunities, the idea of old men sometimes, crying on camera in Diwaniyya debates saying that, I'm so happy that I reached a point in Jordan that I was in a public space speaking out what my thoughts to decision makers without fear. So all these moments sometimes can be very, very touching and can motivate us to move forward. However, also, as I said, there are a lot of challenges that sometimes they put us down. Right now, Diwaniyya debates, we're not being able to hold a lot of our debates because of the restrictions. So there are stuff that we have been facing that sometimes put us down. I think the idea of having a great team who's very supportive, because nothing in life is a one-man show. So it has been always the great team who has been working hard, whether in Fursa or in Diwaniyya or in FADFED or in any of those initiatives, who have believed in it and worked hard to make it happen.
So basically, what you just said is that you in a way you go for a cause, and this is also what makes you believe in it, and what makes you going through the struggles and going through the difficult times, because you have an idea and you know that, okay, I want to. You do something in a way good for society and good for humankind in a way. So this is also what triggers strength.
Doing something new and doing something that's not there. And I would say the people's reinforcement on what we're doing is something that makes it going. Sometimes also, just on a personal level, I like to do new stuff. So it's something that it's exciting. It's exciting to have challenges and to start solving those, and it's a nice mental exercise.
And what would you give? What kind of advice would you give to other young entrepreneurs or people that want to become an entrepreneur? So when they have an idea, how should they start, or when should they start? Because what would you advise?
I mean, I hope that I'm in a position to advise. I mean, I think it's all about passion at the beginning. I mean, people should know what they're really passionate about and what they're really excited about. And I'm saying not everyone create a new idea. Not everyone wants to pursue, the field of entrepreneurship and starting up new things. Sometimes, it's not the personal preference of people just to do this, but sometimes they can be great addition to a great thing that's happening, and they can help in making it happen, and can be part of that purpose, part of that goal, part of that objective. I think for entrepreneurs, I mean, the journey is always long. It's always worse than you think. I mean, whenever I feel like, it's going to be better, easier than I thought. Just I wait a couple of days or weeks, and I know that it was not true.
Lucky you're still smiling.
Especially at the beginning. Yeah, and there's also the most important thing that I would like to tell everyone is that there is like among the entrepreneurs, there's a big tendency for people to keep doing new stuff and creating new stuff and not finishing what they have started. It's very important to, if you have this urgency to create a new thing, don't do it and just try it till you finish what you have started, or at least have what you have already started on a track that is that can develop. Rather than that, you will just end up like doing a lot of things but not really completing any of them.
It's interesting because what you just said is that you need, and I personally very much agree with what you say, is that you need passion and you need to be adventurous in a way. You need to want to create new stuff. You didn't talk about like you need to have lots of money, you need to have a secure future. So I think that's interesting because in a traditional way, many people would always think, you just need to have lots of money and then you can start your own business. But the way you describe it is a little bit more like trying out new things, making a blog, and having the passion. And I think that's quite interesting.
I mean, the lot of money part is really good. It's always good.
It's always good.
So if it can help, the problem that I feel that when it comes that you want to collect the money first, or you want to do things that you don't like just for collecting the money, you end up at a certain point really tired, and it will suck up your energy, and you will reach, let's say that you're waiting till 40s to start a new thing. I'm never resistant to this idea. I mean, you can always start a new thing, but first of all, you cannot guarantee your life, right? No one can guarantee that you can live till the 40s and collect that money to do it. You never know what happens in life. Just like being realistic here. The second thing that sometimes whatever journey you go in that you're not passionate about is going to be like a daily torture for that person, and that daily torture doesn't worth it. It doesn't worth it if your daily torture to collect the money to do your passion after 10 years. You already had been suffering too much during this, and you'll have a lot of suffering like executing what you're passionate about, so it's going to be double the suffering. I think if you're passionate about things, I mean, always you have the minimal viable product approach or the lean approach, where you don't need a lot of money at the beginning, and I think things will always you will see that things are developing, and you will not need that amount of money, at least at the beginning, and you just to be able to live the stable life.
That's very, very impressive. And can you maybe tell me a little bit about the future? I mean, will you create more businesses, or do you want to like stick to Forza and FADFED, etc., or is the future completely open?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely open. I think just going also to the first question is, I think it's also important right now about the timing is not as it used to be before. I mean, honestly, if you're passionate about doing something right now, in 10 years, I mean, 100% other people might have done it, or maybe the whole technology, the whole idea got expired. So it's not like, I'm opening this bakery and then I will have some time. This is my passion to have a bakery, and then I can wait 10 years and I'll still be baking cakes or bread. I mean, today, things are really, really changing really fast, and the idea of winning on things can be very, very risky to what you're passionate about and your idea. Currently, I'm working on. I'm the national coordinator for the National Youth Strategy for Jordan, 2017-2025, 8 years. So this is something that's taking a lot of my time. Looking at how we can have a strategy that is, I would say, realistic, but also very visionary, that can meet up all the new challenges in the coming couple of years. And this is one of the things that I'm currently working on with a great team of consultants, with the Ministry of Youth and the UNDP. Currently we're focusing on Fursa, taking it to another level. We are integrating new features in it, something called Learn, which is like an integrated e-learning portal inside Fursa. It's called Ta'allam in Arabic or Learn in English. And this is something that we're trying to build and to see how we can come up with new educational opportunities, but in a very light approach. We're still actually cooking the idea. Also, we're thinking of another idea that has to do with handicrafts and artwork, and more of like e-commerce and online shopping for those things. So, as I said, these are very. Ta'allam is one of the things that hopefully by the end of the year is going to be integrated in Fursa, and the other ideas, you never know. We still have an idea. If we feel that we could have the time and the effort, then maybe in another conversation we can talk about it.
Sure.
There is a new idea. But as I said, it's not the idea of just really coming up with new ideas. It's like really continuing and being very persistent on what you have already worked on and achieved, and just taking it to another level. Because even in the fields of startups, you cannot just stand still. You need to keep moving, always improving things. Rather than that, you will die. They always talk about sharks, that if they keep moving, they suffocate, or because this is how they breathe. So I think this is the same thing, that how it goes with technology and with technical, like basically IT-based companies. They cannot just like say, "Oh, we're happy with our product. That's it." It doesn't work.
And I have one last or nearly last question. You went to medical school, so you learned a lot there. But you also learned a lot throughout all your businesses, throughout your career as an entrepreneur. Where did you learn most, or can you describe what was the best lesson for you in your life?
Well, that's a very, very interesting question, actually, and that's comparing the learning or the training that I got in the medical career and what I've learned outside the medical career, and just doing things by trying and by error and trial and error and so on. I think the medical career and the medical knowledge helped me a lot in the way of thinking and the approach. Like, I think the medical approach is very, very interesting way of looking at problems. Like the problem solve, like the way that you solve problems in the medical life. It's interesting because it's always scientific. It's always evidence based, and according to it, you action. Something that's very. I think there's some noise.
Oh, sorry. Maybe there was a.
Yeah,
there's some. Sorry.
I think it's fine. Yeah. So the medical. So the medical knowledge would teach you how to solve problems in a scientific way, and then take it to another level. I think the other type of learning was just like the learning from doing something that's different. That the medical training is based on what is written, the latest protocols. So you kind of like you need to follow what's there and just make sure that you stick to it. And if there's anything updated, you need to look at it. In the field of entrepreneurship, it's more adventurous. There's a lot of improvisation. There's a lot of decision making. There's a lot of learning from doing things that you have never thought that you would be doing. trying to learn really fast. Really, like, I think this is what distinguishes an entrepreneur from another, is like the idea of making a mistake, learn from it, and just move fast, or learning throughout the journey really, really fast. And that's something that is that's very important. You always need to learn what from what you're doing, and just like learning, and you will be learning something today and applying it tomorrow, or learning something in the morning and just applying it in the evening. So I think this is one of the things that's unique about this field, and you need always to be on the go, trying to see how things are going, and you can never say, oh, this is not something that I cannot do, or I don't know about. Like, if you're doing something that's in the field of entrepreneurship, you will find yourself learning marketing, accounting, IT, sales, management, HR, all, like, everything. You will be learning a lot of also legal stuff, a lot of financial stuff, like banking, because all these stuff you need to deal with on a daily basis. And I honestly didn't sign up for that. I didn't sign up to learn all those, but and you learn through doing mistakes. So sometimes you do a mistake, and then you learn, and then and that's, I think, where the importance of mentorship sometimes, and the presence of accelerators or incubators that they can help entrepreneurs taking things forward without really making a lot of mistakes.
Oh, that's very, very nice. And maybe my last question would be, what do you wish for the future? Maybe like in your community, but also in your country, but also personally. What do you, if you could like pursue with your activism and all the goals that you have in mind, what would you want everything to look like?
Yeah, I mean, your questions have been really hard.
I'm sorry.
That's not an easy question. I think for me, it's a straightforward when it comes to my country. I think it's social justice. I think social justice is very, very needed in Jordan, but also in the whole region. And from social justice, you can see change, and you can see development. You can see people feeling that they're taking what they deserve. You can see people feeling that they are in a cycle of achievement and appreciation, and the right person is in the right place, and here where you see things are going. And so the social justice is very important. I'm personally obsessed about accountability in general, like the sense of accountability and holding people accountable to their decisions. I'm talking more of policies, political and social level. Personally, it's a hard question, because it depends on what is the next journey. But those are usually the combination of like the social innovation, the combination between social enterprises, doing something with a social cause, and having it sustainable is something that I always aspire to have. So establishing a company that's really serving a purpose, that's really doing something good for people, plus making it sustainable. So it's not donor driven, it's not based on fundraising, it is sustainable by itself. So it's a very hard for me that social innovation, social entrepreneurship is something that's not easy to maintain, because always sometimes you might be driven to one of the I would say the sides, whether the side of like making profit and forgetting about the social cause, or just getting embedded in the social cause and making it totally unsustainable.
But maybe the social cause and the passion also makes you continuing the thing, because if you wouldn't see any sense in what you're doing, then it would probably be also easier to let go.
100%. 100%. This is, I think, one of the main issues main driving factors that makes us going. And we'll see. I mean, we have high aspirations to have Forza growing, and we never know. So we're excited.
I'm excited too, and we also will have all the links of Forza and all the other initiatives on the video, so people can click on it and can have a look, and of course can put opportunities on the website, can receive opportunities, and will make the world hopefully a better place in a way.
We hope. Thank you very much. That would be great to put our like it's nice free advertisement, right? Like free outreach for us. So thank you.
If it's for a social course. Thank you so much. So it was good to talk to you. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you next time in person in Amman or when you come to Berlin.
Of course, we'll make sure that if you come to Amman, we'll get you some hummus and falafel from
Thank you very much.
downtown.
Bye.